Hey guys, Matt Robinson here, founder of the Professional Investors Guild. You can find out more about us by visiting professionalinvestorsguild.com. I just wanted to come back to you and answer another question as part of our Ask the Pig series. I had received a question from one of our members. His name is Tom, and he'd asked something that comes up quite a bit regarding paying referral fees to those that might send us a deal or send us a referral. It's something that gurus talk about a lot, but it's not this guru, because you have to be very careful when you start talking about referral fees. It actually came up this morning when we were brainstorming at our mastermind session that I have with some of my premium members here. But one of again, the question is, can I put up a sign, or can I hand out flyers, or can I tell friends and relatives of mine that if they bring me a real estate deal, that I will pay them a referral fee for bringing that to me? And really the answer, I mean, there are ways around it, but the answer of whether you can pay what is literally dubbed a referral fee is no, you can't. That would be illegal. It would be not necessarily fraudulent, but it would be felonious, because the law states, at least here in the state of Florida, and most states are very similar, that if you help somebody purchase or sell real estate and it's not your own real estate, and you do that for a fee and you're not licensed, that is considered acting as a real estate agent without a license, which is a third-degree felony in Florida. I don't know what the ramifications or the penalties are in other states, but I do know it's usually a pretty severe penalty. And the reason, or the way you get around that, not that you're trying to skirt the law necessarily, but there are legal ways for you to be able to pay people that are involved in a real estate transaction. One of the ways is if you are a party to the transaction, you're able to receive compensation, both in the form of a commission or in other forms of compensation. So a lot of people don't know this, but if you're a party to the real estate transaction, say you're the buyer or the seller, you could request a portion of the realtor's commission. That's perfectly legal. Now, if you're the buyer, that has to be disclosed on the HUD settlement statement and approved by the lender, which many times they won't approve, but it's legal, it's allowed. But if you're not a party to the contract or not a party to the transaction, that's where issues take place. So there's a few main ways for you to be able to compensate individuals that may have brought you a real estate deal. The first way is through an assignment. So many of you are familiar with wholesaling real estate and through assignments. Now, even if this person that brings you this deal isn't a savvy investor, you could still help them. If they brought you the deal, you could help them structure a contract between them and the person you're going to ultimately buy it from, then allow them to assign that contract to you, and in that way you'd be able to pay them not a referral fee, but an assignment fee. And the reason why assignments are legal is because in that situation they are a party to the transaction, they are a party to the contract, and when they put the property under contract, they then gain contractual rights that they could sell. They have rights and value. That contract has value, especially if they put it under contract at a discounted price. So because that has value, it's something that they can sell, the rights and the benefits and the value of that contract. It's very similar if you were to purchase an option on a property, and you say you purchase that property or that option for, it's worth $100,000, or you buy it for $100,000 and it's worth $150,000. That option has basically bought you $50,000 worth of equity, and you have the right to sell that option to buy it, even if you don't actually buy it, for a fee. A couple of other ways where you could compensate individuals. Number two would be to pay them a joint venture fee. If you actually establish and create a joint venture agreement, which is on the form section for those of you who are members of the Professional Investors Guild, you can get access to that JV agreement. But if you establish a JV agreement which states that if this person is going to be paid X percentage of the profit of the deal for doing marketing and finding motivated sellers, you could structure it that way, and it would be legal for them to pay. And then another way, which actually again came up this morning when we were in our mastermind session, is somebody said he wanted to put one of a little placard or a little advertisement in a small business that said, "We buy houses," and the price. And he asked me if it was okay if he paid them a fee for each deal that closed. And I said no, because that would be a referral fee that's tied to a closing. However, what you could do is if you came up with an agreement with them, say, hey, I'm going to pay you $25 a month in order to have this sign here, and then you close the deal, well, at that point, that advertising would be more valuable to you than $25 a month. And because, you don't want to lose the agreement with them, and so you could offer, after you closed on a deal, say, well, I got a deal through it. It's obviously of value. It's worth something to be able to continue to have my advertising advertising in your store, so now I'll pay you $100 a month or $200 a month, and then if another deal comes a few months later, you could raise it to $250 a month, where in a way you would be compensating them for the number of activity or the amount of deals that you're getting from them, and you could raise that as high as you wanted to pay them to advertise within their store, but it would need to be on a monthly basis tied to, you know, a basic understanding of it. It's tied to how many deals you're doing, but not that you're paying them specifically for each deal. That's when you get into a gray area. You may be crossing a line, and you could get yourself into some trouble. If you have other questions, I would always advise you to consult an attorney. I'm not giving legal or accounting advice in these videos or in any of my webinars or events, but I always recommend you consulting somebody, a professional, an attorney. And you could also, if you know of a realtor, have them, and you're worried about a specific situation, have them call their legal hotline. Here in Florida, we have a FAR legal hotline where we could call and ask them specific questions pertaining to a transaction, a contract, the rules and regulations as it pertains to doing real estate here in the state of Florida. So anyway, I hope that helps you and give you some guidance. I know that's a big thing. A lot of people want to give referral fees. Obviously, it makes sense for you to be able to pay people to bring you leads. But you have to just be very careful with that, because you could, without knowing it, violate real estate license law. And unfortunately, ignorance is not something you can plead in order to get out of trouble. It's ignorance of the law. It doesn't make it okay, and could still land you in some hot water. So be careful. Make sure you do it strategically in the way it should be done, legally, honestly, ethically, above board, so that you can grow your business and make a bunch of money and not end up in prison. Have a great day. We'll see you next time on the Ask the Pig here. Again, for more information, visit us at professionalinvestorsguild.com.